Hi everyone, this is Shannon. Thank you so much for being here today. I'm starting this video with a little in-home flower arrangement. I really love making these single stem arrangements. I especially like the smaller, more compact ones. They're just so cute and lovable. So I'm just gathering my supplies here. As I'm arranging, I'm creating my own flower grid right on top of the vase using tape. Now, while I was doing this, I realized I should have done a tic-tac-toe pattern instead of a simple star. A tic-tac-toe grid leaves the key open space in the middle, which is really helpful if you're working with taller flowers that give an arrangement height. But with these fuller flowers, it worked out fine. They filled in the space nicely, but it's just something to remember for the next time. I slide the vase closer to the edge of the counter so it's easier to work with. Then I bring each stem over and measure it against the vase to snip it off. I make sure to remove any leaves that would fall below the water line. Those can contaminate the water and makes the arrangement not last as long. So there we have it. It's all done. Simple, beautiful, and a joy to make. So Darren and I tried to eat fermented or pickled foods as much as possible. And today I'm just going to do a demo on how I do pickled red onions and pickled cucumbers. Found my peppercorns. Traditionally, pickles like these are made with white vinegar and sugar, but today I'm switching it up and I'll be using rice vinegar and apple cider vinegar. And instead of sugar, I'm going to be using honey. So I'm getting the water boiling and I'm going to slice up my onions and stick them in the boiling water just to soften them for just a minute. Here I've got my rice vinegar and I'm doing a 2-to-1 ratio with water to vinegar. I did add some of the hot water from the onions to the vinegar. And then I just threw in some peppercorns, and then I'm starting to make this really pretty pink color and add some honey, sweeten it, and stick it in the fridge. It's delicious, and we use it up within a week. So next I'm doing a cucumber. I've already peeled it, not completely peeled it. I left a little bit of the peel just for decoration, I guess. And then scored the outside with a fork and just layering them in these cute little jars that I got from IKEA. And then I'm going to be doing water and apple cider vinegar and honey. And I use my little handheld mixer. I don't know what that thing is called, but I use it constantly. I think everybody's got one of those. And then I just pour the mixture over the cucumber, and it's delicious. I store them in the fridge and we add them to salads and side dishes, and they're yummy. So Darren and I subscribed to National Geographic, and I came across this beautiful article about sea urchins. I had no idea there were so many varied colors and sizes and shapes. They're just stunning. They almost look like gemstones. Or, what they reminded me of first was Christmas candies. But I thought they'd be really fun to paint with watercolors and maybe another mixed medium added to watercolors. I'll show you that. So I'll share a little bit about what I learned from the article and walk you through my painting process. So here I've just drawn out 4 different sea urchins, and I will be rotating from picture to picture because they will need some time to dry in between before I go back. This process is all wet on dry paper. So the skeleton of a sea urchin is called a test, T-E-S-T-S. So sea urchins actually help keep the coral reefs healthy. They eat algae that would otherwise take over and smother the coral. So they're kind of like these little gardeners. But here in the Caribbean, since 2022, they've been having a really horrible problem. There's this parasite that has been wiping them out, and now the parasite has traveled onward to the Mediterranean, which, if the sea urchins disappear, the reefs will really suffer. Without them, the algae goes wild and crowds out the coral, which can affect all other kinds of marine life. Anders Hallan, a researcher from the Australian Museum, started photographing sea urchin skeletons back in 2018. He found them all in all kinds of places. Some had washed up on beaches, and others were collected by divers or people working in fishing and research boats. But now he's photographed over 1,000 of them, showing off their amazing patterns and colors and shapes. His work is both scientific and artistic, a beautiful way to highlight and show how special and important these sea urchins are in our ocean. So for some final touches, I am using a white gel pen. So this would make this a mixed medium, watercolor and pen. And I am noticing that I have a funky way of holding a pen, wrapping my thumb around. You know, one of my kids holds a pen the same way. I don't know if that's a genetic thing. But so just adding all of this fun ink, the white ink really does help create more of the spininess that these little creatures have. And another reason you don't want to step on them when you're in the water. So here I'm adding paint over the top of the gel pen, which I'm still able to see the gel pen coming through, which is something I didn't know that you could do. So that was fun. I was just like, let's just try and see what this effect does. I was thinking maybe it was going to smear the gel pen, but it didn't. And so it just kind of gives it more of a overcast haze, and I think it's a cool effect. I'm finishing it with a little bit more shadowing towards the bottom, and then I'm going to call it done. These are really fun. I mean, this is like a very whimsical, fun, lighthearted little painting, something that anyone could do. And I'm thinking, gosh, it would be cute as painting something similar looking, but actual Christmas candies, and using the same technique for Christmas cards or a note to tie on as your Christmas gift. I'm waiting for the rain to pass. Usually these fun little storms come and go in about 10 minutes. And then I'm going to go for my walk. I've got my weighted vest on, and I'm going to try out my brand new shoes and head out to the beach.
And I see you shine in every color, resting your head in my arms. You sing la 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 la. My God, I think I might be in love. Get rid of all your sorrows in the summer city. You'll never feel alone as long as you're with me. Get rid of all your sorrows in the summer city. There's no place on earth I would rather be.
Thank you so much for joining me today. Remember to hit that subscribe button and ring that bell. See you next week, 6 a.m. Thank you. Bye.